They may think they're going back to England and all that, but what if they went back and they were a slave in a previous life and things wasn't, and they weren't rich and had all the money, you know? So what happens when they discover that, if they can, because I don't believe they'll be able to, in the DNA, because I don't think they're touching it. Touch it. I don't think humans can touch into the spiritual realm like that. Even if they do DNA, that doesn't that that's still not going into the spiritual realm of it.
So the scientists obviously are trying to replicate anything that's natural and make it artificial, right? They've been doing this
I won't want
for
to do that mess.
they've been doing this
Mm-mm.
for
They're gonna end up
decades.
sitting. Yeah.
So I think that the long and short, I think that they will try. They might have even done it. Like,
They probably
you
have.
probably heard of the Philadelphia experiment or the Montauk experiment. I don't know if you have, but if you haven't, let me
Mm-mm.
know.
Mm.
So with the Philadelphia experiment, they pretty much have allegedly during World War II, they were trying to the military and the scientists were trying to work on technology to make battleships totally invisible to the eye. An experiment
Mm.
with electromagnetic fields, they allegedly not only made the battleship invisible to the eye, so people that were on a nearby battleship, safely at a certain distance away, they watched the shit disappear from sight. According to the story, they seen the open water and they even seen the dip in the water where the ship was, but the ship was invisible to the eye. Then the
Well,
second thing that they said happened was that ship disappeared, I think, off the coast of Chesapeake Bay, which I believe is Virginia, and then
mhm.
it appeared miles away in off the coast of Philadelphia somewhere. I think hence the name
Mhm.
Philadelphia experiment. And when that ship materialized in that other location, so they said some soldiers were fused in between floors. Some of them were fused into the walls, like
Mm.
some wild dimensional transportation type of situation may
Mhm.
have occurred or whatever. But like I said, that's one theory or science fiction or government
Mhm.
conspiracy that it hasn't
Mhm.
been fully confirmed yet with that one. But then another one on the same vein is the Montauk Project, which I believe ties into mind control. It's tapping into some of the stuff that you're dealing with clairvoyance, but where like the government literally had these children in this laboratory at this facility, and they pure express purpose was to push these kids to the mental limits to try to, I guess,
Mhm.
activate these abilities. Like that hit TV show on Netflix, Stranger Things. That's
Mhm.
kind of what that show is about. The Montauk
Mhm.
experiments at a like the girl, she's representing the
Mhm.
children that would the mental experimentation was done on.
Mm. Well, they say that there's a galactic federation. Have you heard of that?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I definitely heard of that. Yeah, I
So
definitely
we're
heard of that.
with the government and aliens
Mm-hmm.
communicate. And
And
so that's where I believe they're getting this from, because I don't think they have those capabilities. And
so if you stay
I
right
just don't.
there,
I think that they know, and Trump one day will spill all the beans because he can't hold water, and eventually he's gonna tell people
so it's
that there's aliens here,
well, all of them
and they're
hinted
just
at
here.
aliens, but none of them just ain't go to
Hmm.
full length. But
They won't do it.
what I was gonna pause you on real quick was, as soon as you mentioned that, because I was just telling Bree earlier that it's all interpretation. We are in the so-called present time. So if we see
Hmm.
some shit come out the sky, we might equate it more to alien versus the ancestors who were in those,
Hmm.
times, especially BC type era. They
Hmm.
see something and they might
Yes.
call it an angel, or
God, yeah.
or God or
Mhm.
whatever. But it's definitely the same activity, the same entities. We just calling them
Mhm.
different names.
And I don't really talk about this much to people because they'll think I'm fruity. But when I was around 12 years old, I saw an angel in my mom's house.
Mm.
I know it sounds wild, but I really did see
Hey,
it.
look,
And
I ain't gonna put it
and
past
and
you.
and and it was like okay, so I just happened to wake up and I saw this huge galaxy of light. It was like flickering, you know, and it spoke to me like telepathy, like because they don't just speak to you like we do. It's mine, in my mind. And it didn't scare me or anything. And it called me by my nickname. They called me Sandy in my family, and it told me I was a good person. And then I went back to sleep. And I didn't know, I never forgot about that. And I didn't know what that was, until I was reading this book about called Ask Your Angels. And I bought this book to read it, right. And then I threw it in trash because I got a little nervous, scared of it. But I was dating this guy who had the book and it like
Mm.
came back in my life. I said, okay, it must be meant for me to read this book. So I bought the book again. And in that book described that angels, they don't have wings like what people say they do. Their
Mm.
vibration is so high that it looks like it's wings, but it's really not. And so they can come in different forms. And the galaxy was one of the forms. And when I read that, it's like, wow, that's what I saw, you know. And
Mm.
I've had other encounters too, that I truly believe were angels that came to my rescue one time. My car, because I believe angels walk and they can take on human form too.
Yeah, multiple
So
people have, kind of reported
yeah,
that for sure.
yeah. So when I was around 20, I was like 24, 20, I was living in Powder Springs and I was singing this song, just driving, singing Angels Watching Over Me. And I was singing this song and my car stopped in the middle of the road. And these two men, I mean, everybody passing me by. And these two men came to me. They just came from the right side of my car. And they came and I asked where they were going and they said, "Oh, we're going to get our car." But they were the same size. They were African American and they worked on my car and my car never tore up again. I don't know where they came from other than to the right side of me. And I tell you I believe those were angels in human form. Because it's just a coincidence. I was singing that song and then that happened.
Mm.
So yeah.
No, no, I
So
definitely, like I said, I think that my brain is open to the possibility of damn near everything. I think I told you I
yeah.
seen a ghost when I was a kid. Me and my
Yeah, now I remember
grandmother.
that was so funny, that story. I would have
So,
moved out of that house. But yeah, I
but
remember you told me
but
that. That was
because
so funny.
like it's funny. Like one part of your brain might be like, man, if I seen that, I would be out of there so quick, which I get. But then it goes back to, I guess, the energy, and then it goes
Yeah,
back
it was,
to other factors. So, like from me and my grandmother's point of view, it
mhm.
didn't look like a ghost. It looked like a regular, like physical 3D person. You know what I mean? We, like I
Okay.
said, we thought it was her friend that came downstairs and went into the kitchen.
Okay.
And
Wow.
that was the crazy thing. Like, so, like, if it would have came through on some Ghostbusters where you could see through
Mhm.
it and we ain't see no feet and it was hovering, maybe I would have been
Yes.
scared. But I was just
Mhm.
confused.
Yes.
Like,
Well, my biological mom, she could see those things. She could see it big time. And my aunt. Yeah. So she would, yeah. I've never seen that. I really don't want to because
trust me, I don't want to see nothing either.
I don't want to see that either.
But but it's funny listening to some of the other podcasts with other spiritualists. Some of them will say that it's also, I guess, like a vibe. I guess a vibe or whatever I'm trying to explain. Like when you encounter whatever that thing is, from their perspective, I'm trying to kind of tell you secondhand of what they were saying. Like there's an energy that you could feel in the encounter, right? As soon as the shit pop off, like is it a peaceful type of good
they,
energy,
I, us-
or is
I
it a
usually have
negative
it in my
energy?
dreams. I usually have it in my dreams. I've had dreams like that,
Mm-hmm.
and I've had. Okay, I know this is gonna sound strange, but since we're talking about it, since I'm being open,
Mm-hmm.
I've had things to come in my room, you know, and and like one came in. I was just broke up with this guy, and I was all upset and everything. And this thing came in my room and sat on my bed, but it was like it was trying to comfort me. It didn't scare me.
That's what I'm saying. So people, some of the other people that's in that spiritual realm like you that have these encounters, yeah, it's like not all of
And
them
I,
are bad encounters,
yeah,
or
and
the
I,
energy ain't evil per se. You know what I mean? Out the
uh-uh.
gate type shit. Yeah.
Yeah, and I've had other ones where these would come in my room. It's before I had my son, and it would kind of like hold me, and I couldn't move. But sometimes it would make this buzzing noise, like it was talking to me. And I told my son's babysitter about it because she knows about all this stuff. And she said, if that happens again, you start praying. And I did, and it never came back. And I hope it doesn't. I've had other situations where I've never lived in a house where it was somebody else's. And it's so funny that's never happened. But when I was in an apartment and I was dating this guy and he had gone to work, I was still asleep. Well, now this is gonna sound pretty wild, y'all, but it does happen. This figure, black thing figure, tried to get into bed, and I was fighting it like I had come out of my body and I was fighting it in the spirit. And I could feel the hands of it and everything.
Well,
It was wild.
that happens more than you know. And this is what I'm trying to tell you. You need to like this right here. You know what I'm saying? Like on TikTok, there's a whole spiritual TikTok that I'm tapped into, which is why I'm telling you,
Mhm,
you definitely
mhm.
um, need to start. Like even this shit right here, this is definitely going up. But as far as
Wait a minute, wait a minute. You're recording me?
yeah,
Oh no, I didn't want.
well look, I trash it. I delete the shit.
Well, damn, people be thinking I'm crazy.
Well, one they ain't, it's just really me on camera,
If
and
you
then
Yeah,
if
just some
you if you
generic
crazy,
picture.
what is
Actually, it's a lot more. I mean, no, I
Yeah,
mean now people are speaking out more about these experiences because a lot of people have had them. I've had them too, in
exactly.
certain
yeah,
realms or whatever. So like people I'm seeing are talking more about this, on social
yeah,
media or whatever. So
Exactly.
yeah,
yeah.
mm,
And this is what I'm
And
trying
that's
to.
why we and this, I feel people's energy even through the phone. I can feel it. When
Yeah.
we were working with when we were
Hmm.
working I felt their energy on the phone a lot of times. I
Yeah.
could even see them and I felt it. I'm like,
yeah.
I
I
can
feel you
feel
on
it.
that for sure. I'd be feeling like sometimes if something bad's happening, I'm like, I think something bad about to happen.
Yeah.
It
Hmm.
might not be right then and there, but it'd be like maybe 2, 3 weeks later, and I'm like, oh man, I felt
Yeah.
that like 3 weeks ago.
Yeah. Hmm.
Shit.
I
That's
dreamt about COVID before it even happened because I had a dream that I was cleaning so much. I was just cleaning everything, like cleaning. And I felt like I was dreaming about that, because I couldn't wonder. I was like, why am I cleaning so much? Because sometimes they say, when people you dream about cleaning, you're about to have a baby. I'm like, well, that's not happening.
Oh
But yeah, I was doing
yeah,
a lot of
cleaning.
cleaning. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
what they say.
mine is more like, bro, I swear I like knew something was gonna happen to my friend.
Yeah.
Well, he was my friend, he was my boo, Andre. And like I never said it, but when he, passed and ended up, getting robbed and stuff, I'm like,
Mm,
bro, I swore for like a month prior, I kept feeling like something was gonna happen and
mm,
it did. But it
yeah.
wasn't like where I said anything to him or anything like that. But I was like, damn, I
Mm,
wish I would have said something.
mhm.
Yeah, you know what I mean. So I go back to
Yeah.
even what Trish was talking about with these Akashic records. Like,
Yes.
I think some people, it's like a radio. Sometimes when you turn it from one channel to the next, some people just get the static that have zero connection. Some people might
Mhm.
have that partial where you might hear the song come through a little bit, and then it's back to static. And then other people that like yourself that might just be fully dialed into the station where you can tap into that station or that
Mhm.
signal. So like,
Yeah.
in
And
order,
see,
yeah.
when I get that, it usually come in the morning, like when I wake up, or a lot of times I don't have anything on my mind, and something to just come through, you know.
Hmm.
And but yeah, or
Yeah.
like it's just yeah, you know. And so it's very interesting how that happens. And then I'll get things about other people, or I'll
Hmm.
have I'll have dreams, you know, about somebody. You know, sometimes it's not good
Yes.
dreams.
Dreams.
Yeah.
Hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Even even, you know, not telling, you know, running business. But I had a dream about here when I was it, and when we went there, it was the exact same house.
Mm.
I told him when it was going to happen and everything. I had a dream about it.
you know, dreams are very interesting. Some people say that we we clearly in this dimension, right? Scientists say that we in the quote unquote third dimension or whatever,
Mhm.
and there's like they've discovered up to 11 different dimensions.
Mhm.
And one theory that I've kind of heard that I kind of subscribe to it to a degree, they say that when we sleep, quote unquote, our consciousness or our spirit, whatever you want to call it, is going to your other self. How you know you always hear people talk about your higher self or your lower self.
Yes.
Like
Hmm.
you back over there now. Like how you leave work to go
I,
home, your
yeah,
consciousness is traveling
uh-huh.
to over there, wherever over there is,
It
and
does travel, y'all.
you
It
doing
does because
and your
hmm
dream might just be the memories of whatever you was last doing over there type shit. You know what I'm saying? I'm
right.
just spitballing
Yeah.
here, but it's an interesting
Well,
theory.
I've had out
Nevertheless,
of body experiences a number of times, you know, and a few of them, and so I used to have it so much that it's like I could see myself coming out of my body, you know, and this I used to be in, just meet people who knew about this stuff to ask questions, and this lady Brenda, I was like, okay, well, when you come out, how do you know how to get back in? I mean, what do you do? You know?
no, that's a
And
good question.
she said that your body have a silver cord. You have a silver cord that links to your spirit. So when you come out of it, you tell yourself to get back in, you know? So a few times I did come out and I saw myself in my room like I'm walking, like I don't know how this can happen, but I can see myself coming out. And so I'm coming out and I'm walking, and I've my consciousness, I guess, discover, hey, you're out of your body. So I started telling myself this is mental to get back in. So when that happened, I felt it's almost like I was like something was pulling me back. And when you make a landfall, you'll jump in your sleep. And that's what happens when you jump like that. It's like you're out of your body and your body is coming back to itself. Your spirit is coming back in, and you're making a landfall back in your body. So, and I've observed myself out of my body a number of times. Because another time I thought I was awake and I wasn't, and I went to turn on the light and my hands went through the light, and that's when I knew I was out of my body again. I know it sounds
Interesting.
weird, but yeah.
Now
And
it's
Nah,
now
nothing
this is
really sounds weird
well,
like that no more. Just
well,
because
and this is
we know
another
so much
time.
now.
Yeah, another time I was living in Suttles Landing. You know, my son was around 5 or 6 at the time. And I kept hearing the alarm going off. At least I thought I did. So I wake up It's still red. I see it still red. It's not off. So I go back to sleep, and I kept hearing "du-du-du-du." and and this time I guess I didn't wake up, but I came out of my body. I went downstairs. It's gonna sound a little spooky. So I went downstairs, and my front door opens, and there's a little girl standing at my door. I couldn't see her face. She had like pigtails, and she had on a dress, and she just glided up my steps. She was a happy spirit. And it's almost like she wanted to go in my son's room, and I kept telling her to go. I said, "Go, go, 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 go." And it's almost like in my dream, he touched my son, and my son said, "Mommy, who woke me up?" And that's what woke me up out of that, thinking this, it seems so real
Mm.
until I woke up. And so I just felt like maybe over there on the south side, on Cascade Road, I was
Yeah.
like, well, maybe that was some type of slave land over there. I don't know. It was just amazing. I'd never had that to happen before.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. All that shit
yeah,
is interesting.
it's very, very wild,
And it's
but
great. So
yeah.
on the same dream thing, right? I think I was telling Bree and Trish about this TikTok I seen, and it was, even though it was more like on the voodoo side of things, Shorty was saying that a lady had asked her some random ass questions at first, which didn't make no sense. But then when she spoke to like one of her elders, she was like, so the questions. Let me start with the questions that the I guess the random lady asked this lady who did the video. The lady was saying she was approached by some lady, and the lady asked her like, what time do you normally go to sleep? If you wake up in the middle of the night, what time do you usually have to get up, to go to the bathroom? Or what time do you normally kind of wake up, even if it's just for a few minutes before you go back to sleep? And then some other question. And she thought it was odd, even though she didn't answer the questions, because she was like, I guess it didn't sit right with her that some stranger was asking her these fucking odd ass specific questions, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, right.
So she talked with her grandmother, and her grandmother was like, that the lady who was asking these questions clearly was like on some what's the slang that was she was about that work, or what I mean, she was a spiritualist, but obviously for ill intent, because the grandmother was telling her that if somebody asks you those questions, they trying to basically do a spiritual probing by finding out
Like
what
asking her
time,
like what
by,
time she go
by,
to bed and all that.
yeah, by finding out what time she might get up in the middle of the night before going back to sleep. Shorty was saying, the grandmother was saying, she was trying to pinpoint your time, that your spiritual defense is at its weakness, or you know what I
Hmm.
mean. So she know what time to attack your ass if
Hmm.
she was to send some shit at you. Because I'm telling you, like I said, on the if you just go on the TikTok, spiritual TikTok, or just put in TikTok spirits, whatever, it's so much shit on there that make the shit you say seem normal and tame. You feel me?
Yeah, I bet it is.
But
Because this friend of mine, she used to
mhm,
call me asking me stuff about what you getting about this person, what you getting about that person. So I was telling her, and I'm like, and come to find out, this lady did witchcraft. I'm like, girl, you should have told me that, because they can. You're not, from what I was heard, that people who do that, they can see when other people are looking at them.
yeah.
And it's like, you know
So
what? You should have told me that. I said, let me not do that anymore.
so there's
So I'm like, you just need to be praying and pray some psalms around you and for protection.
now what you just said made me think about another John I was watching. Like, we have to do some reviews on. I'm gonna play some of these spiritual TikToks, and we can do some reactions just to get your perspective on it. But one shorty was talking about how at a Christmas party at her job, and she worked at a hospital or whatever. So it was like a secret Santa situation. Shorty had got a gift, which was like a bracelet and a necklace and earrings, a little cheap
Mm,
$20 set, combo set or whatever. So she ain't think nothing of it. But after she put the
mm,
necklace and the bracelet
mm,
on, she
mhm,
immediately just started kind of feeling real sick over the next day to where she
Mm,
was like in the
mm.
ER or whatever.
Wow.
And she finally called her
And
mother once she got to the ER or whatever. And the mom was like, before she could even like tell her, or ask her, like, why are you here? What's going on? The mom immediately went up to her and snatched the necklace off of her and said, "Where did you get this from?" And then also, took off her that bracelet. And Shorty was like, she got it, from somebody at a Christmas party, gift thing that she don't know. And she said somebody done put a hex on you. And
mm,
then, brought her back to the house and then did some work, like as far as making some
you're
stuff for
removing
her
it.
to drink, as well as putting some shit down around her crib, salt around the
Mm,
borders and all that type of shit.
yeah.
And then
Mm,
she said they had to do a mirror spell. That mirror
mm,
spell was gonna help them try to determine who at the job put the fucking hex on her.
mm,
And then fast forward after they did, X amount of rituals or whatever, then like the mother did like another the lady mother did another smaller ritual because you know how y'all ladies have the little makeup joint that y'all flip open,
mm,
you know,
mm,
that joint, she did it on that as well, so that because the main ritual was done on this full length mirror that the daughter had in her bedroom. She did the
mm,
second or third ritual on the little compact joint so that when she's at work and she look in there, it should kind of help her decipher who at the job is the one that put the spell somehow. And lo and behold, Shorty was like, once she got to the job and went into the women's restroom and then looked at that motherfucker, then this coworker popped up out of nowhere and her reflection obviously is in the motherfucking joint because the bitch popped up behind her. So then she started paying
wow.
attention to this lady. Come to find
Mm,
out, this lady is a witch and another nurse. This white dude was a warlock,
really?
which
Wow.
because at that point once she seen them, then I think she had her mom come up there to visit, or to fake bring something up to her job that she, so that her mom could lay eyes on these motherfuckers, and basically got confirmation, and then end up doing some kind of reverse spell to
Reverse
send,
spell on them.
yeah, to send the
That's why
shit
you got
back
to
to
be
them.
careful. Exactly, because that's why you have to be careful about that stuff because you don't know what other people know because people can reverse it back on you and you don't even know what hit you,
Yeah, yeah.
because
And this
they got
place,
this thing called a reverse candle that you can use. You're not doing anything but reversing their negative energy back on them.
mm-hmm.
And there's other stuff that you can do. I've had friends who told me some things, but that's crazy. And
That's one of many joints. I'm sorry. That's what I'm saying. I think you kind of just like how we just talking in general. All like your shit is gonna do
yeah,
well, especially like because all of the TikToks I rewatch them on YouTube just in longer format. So
mhm. Even burning candles is a ritual. Candle magic, depending on what color you get. Candle magic, all of that. And just everything. It's just amazing how much stuff is out there. But that's why you just don't know what other people know to be doing.
that, and you don't
Because
know other people intention,
because
especially
when I
like in
was
a
little, my
workplace.
family, yeah, exactly. And that's why, really, I believe that, when people wear different clothes, it carries energy. I don't like hand-me-down clothes. I don't go to Goodwill and shop for nobody else's shoes. None of that. You know, um,
No,
I
I hear
just,
you.
I just,
Yeah, like
I'm not into all of that because I don't know what that person was about, to be wearing their things.
especially jewelry, they say
Yeah.
holds that energy as
Hmm.
well.
Yeah. Like, yeah. So, yes, and on my dad's side, believed in all that stuff. I didn't know what they were talking about when I was little, when they were saying that, someone had a root put on them and they had to go get it taken off and stuff. I didn't know what they were talking about until I got older. I was like, oh, that's what they were talking about.
Hmm.
But all that stuff came from Africa, you know?
Shoot, I think that stuff was all over to begin with. Because
Mhm,
even though this is I don't even want to segue too hard, but I think, as original people, which there's no dispute, we are the original people, but as original people, I think we were originally everywhere on this planet. Like, like obviously, whatever angle you want to take, um, if you think a nigga magically just made the first nigga, or if we were dropped off by black aliens whose image we are made in honor of, whatever angle you take, I think that, obviously it started somewhere, but very early on we had, whole civilizations around the entire planet, way,
mhm,
way, way, way back, further than what these, Discovery Channel ass type individuals. Well, mankind's only been around for 6,000. No, we've been around here for probably hundreds of thousands, damn near millions of years. As
mhm, mhm,
The Egyptians, who are quoted as one of the early civilizations, the Sumerians and
mhm,
the Egyptians are the ones who said there's nothing new under the sun. So if they allegedly
mhm,
one of the first civilizations right behind the
mhm,
Sumerians, then how can they be saying that there's nothing new under the sun? If you're saying that,
mhm,
that implies by default that a whole bunch of other shit has already happened. Whatever is happening
mhm.
now has happened before many times,
Yeah.
and we ain't the
Mhm,
first ones to experiencing this. And the same thing with
mhm.
them niggas down there in
That's what I
talk
believe
about the
too.
Incans, the Mayans, with the shit down there. Fish, help me out,
Mhm.
goddammit.
You mean
The Mayan calendar. You
the
know,
Mayan?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, how they
Mhm,
talk about, even though I think they shit always gets mistranslated because people be talking
mhm,
about the end of the world. No, the Mayans were just talking about the end of an age or
mhm.
the end of an era.
Okay. Yes. Yes.
And the same thing
Yes.
with the Pisces and the horoscope and all that from the Christian
Mhm.
standpoint. Like, um, people talk about the end of the
So they
world.
think it's how.
The end of the world is a mistranslation. They really mean the end of an age. Like,
Mhm,
if you think about Moses and Ten Commandments, he went up there. Like, if you like, we old enough to, and even Trish should be old enough to remember that movie. I think it was either Ben Hur or one of them shits.
mhm,
But your man in the beginning, the Hebrews was down there. They had the golden bull, which represents age of Taurus.
mhm,
He goes up to the top of the mountain, speaks to God, gets the word, gets the tablets, comes back down, and then told them to destroy the bull. Because at that point they left the age of Taurus, and then I think they were all about sacrificing the ram or the lamb. I think whatever that shit
mhm.
represented, which was transitioning to the age of Aries or whatever came after that.
Aries. Mhm,
And then by the time you get
mhm.
to
It's
Christ,
amazing.
the age
Mhm.
of Pisces, the fish, which is why
The fish.
the Christian tends to have that fish as the symbol in their car because
Mhm.
they would
But yet, if you talk
transition.
to Christian, they like, oh, that's all witchcraft and that's all,
Oh no,
you
that's
know.
Catholic too.
Yeah,
My
yeah,
They,
family
they
has that too.
yeah,
Has
yeah.
that
But
too.
it's science, it's astronomy, astrology that is in.
and
That's
numerology, don't
oh
forget,
yeah.
and
All of these
numerology.
things that they tried to say was evil was put out there as evil
But
because you have to remember, from at least from a mankind's standpoint that is documented, man has tried to control other men by
mhm,
controlling the narrative. So if
yes,
we,
and they
that's
don't
like,
want you to know that
yeah,
stuff because that stuff is very powerful. Numerology, astrology, all of that stuff
exactly.
can tell you a lot about yourself, a lot about the current
You
events,
can't control
all of
niggas if
that.
they smart.
Mm,
That's like
mm-mm,
that's like
mm-mm,
right now in 2026. If only the six of us controlled the whole internet, we know everything. We have access to everything. And then if we make it
mhm,
illegal or say that y'all shouldn't, and we make a new Bible that say thou shalt not use a computer.
Hmm.
Now we making it as sinful for you to even want to learn. So now
Yeah.
we make sure that we the only ones who got the knowledge and the info
And you know what?
and keep y'all
And
niggas
let me
dumb.
say, and you know what? And you know, the Africans was probably studying all that stuff and knew about it. And
Fact.
now when you go into the churches, black people are like, oh no, that's satanic. I could never talk to my family like this. My family know me, but they don't really know who I am with
But
this
yeah,
stuff because
they've been
I don't talk
brainwashed.
to them. No,
And
I'll say a little. My sister know a little something, calling me, asking me. I mean, some members in my family they do call. What are you getting about this? What are you getting about that? And I tell them, but it's only a few who do that.
yeah. Yeah, but
But
I
I
think
don't talk to them.
I think on a whole our people have been brainwashed from the standpoint of like we just kind of touched on. Anything spiritual has been deemed as evil during the time that we've been in captivity. The second part, which may sound far fetched, but hopefully makes a lot of sense to you. All of these secret societies, the Masons, the Eastern
Mhm,
Stars, the Illuminati, whatever the fuck you want to call them,
mhm,
all of
mhm.
these niggas are practicing ancient knowledge and practices of our people
They are.
that they kept
They
from
are.
us.
They are.
That
Yeah.
our
Definitely.
ancestors, before we were enslaved, we were open hearted and kind and taught them devils. And then once they got into power, they kept it from us, the very thing that we taught
Mhm,
to them.
mhm,
That's all
mhm.
these secret societies is really about,
Yeah. And they got
fundamental
major
level.
mind control going on right now. Major mind control.
I be man, I got this one picture that I've been trying to find this picture. I seen it like 8 years ago, somewhere around there, 8 to 10 years ago. But it was a picture of George Washington with this black dude, and the black dude had the he was fresh to death. But George Washington had a Masonic robe on or whatever.
Mm,
And basically, the breakdown from what I was reading, the black guy was the his teacher, basically, who was bringing him into masonry.
mm. Interesting.
Same thing. If you go to like the quotes from Plato, the Greek, one of the famous quotes from Plato was, "I entered into the pyramids as a man and left as a god." So when he left
Hmm.
Greece to come and
Really?
kick it with the bros in Egypt or Kemet, he learned so much that he went back to there feeling like a god compared to the rest of the Greeks.
Mm.
And then another
Mm,
name
mm,
of
mm.
Africa, or the continent of Africa, at least in ancient times, was Olympus. The
Mhm,
Romans and the Greeks, they gods come from Olympus, Africa.
mhm. Yeah.
But
Let me ask Trish. Trish, you said that those other things happened to you too?
Yeah. I was driving to work. This was some years back. Even before I got married, had kids. I was driving to work, and I had stopped. I was coming out my apartment complex, and I had stopped to make a left. And so, like this guy, this white guy, was walking in front of the car, and he stopped. I was like, "Oh no, what are you coming to my window for?" Typically, I don't let down the window, but I did. And he said, "I just want to let you know there's an angel sitting in the car with you." And he
Mm.
has walked off. And like when I looked to turn and look at him again, I didn't see him anymore.
Ah, he said there was an
Yeah.
angel in the car.
Mhm. Yeah. And then I know you were saying that out of body experience. Like when I was younger, I used to have really bad night terrors when I was younger, but a few
Mhm.
times like feel my bed moving, and I
Mm.
would wake up and stuff. I would be scared, and my mom would be like, "That's the devil trying to ride your back," you know. Um,
You couldn't move.
you know how those
You mean
people in Georgia.
you were
Oh
laying
my
there, you
God, that's
couldn't move,
crazy.
or
Yeah,
you
I
said
couldn't
something
move
was shaking your.
my head moving. Yeah, and then when I came, it's almost like when I came to, or kind of like when I woke up, it stopped. But like I know it physically what I felt.
Mm. Did you see anything? Did you?
No, I didn't
Because
see anything. Mm-mm.
sometimes when you can't move like that, you be out of your body. you know, you're having like an out of body experience when you can't move.
Mm. All I know,
Yeah.
I was asleep and I felt it felt so real, and I felt the bed literally shaking.
Mm.
That's crazy. Yeah, I
I
used to have
had
nightmares
well,
a lot as a
yeah,
kid,
yeah,
but I thought it was
interesting.
just because I was watching scary movies.
And see, that's what I don't watch because I don't know about all those things. You know,
Oh yeah, girl, my aunts used to
I do
do it.
not.
My mom would never let me watch them, but
Mm,
my aunts, they didn't care. They're like, "You want to
mm.
watch with us?" And I'm like, "Yeah."
Okay. There, that's funny. Oh
I'm over
man.
here thinking Scream finna come. You couldn't hang no hoodies on my door. Like I would freak out. I'd be like, "Mom," and she's like, "It's just a jacket. Calm down." I'm like, "It's Scream." She's like, "Where are you watching this?" And she would get on my
Oh
aunt's
yeah.
ass. Like, no, I'm not
Later.
gonna
Yeah.
watch that.
Oh, oh, wow.
But yeah, I think all of us, especially obviously black people, have definitely have a sixth sense.
Hmm. No doubt.
Oh yeah, yeah. We definitely tap
Yeah, like
in.
yeah, yeah, everybody have it. Some people don't really want to like be tapped into it, I guess. And, and they give their power away, but I think that all we definitely have it, you know.
Why you think? Why you think that hear those sayings? Those sayings don't just be slogans.
I know.
You know, it's like in the past, like the early 1900s, they might have referred to us as soul people. Modern
Yeah.
day times, black girl magic and all that shit. That shit ain't
Mhm.
just a fucking slogan.
Yeah, black
It
girl
like
magic.
it's
Hmm.
like there's facts and truth to this shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were calling it that because they couldn't do it.
Like
Hmm.
why you think a lot of times these white people try to would secretly consult with the old black women in town about certain matters, especially during the Jim Crow era type shit. From a lot of shit I was
Hmm.
reading, like the
Hmm.
same clan that they try to hang a nigga, if they felt like they had a hex on them, they coming to see that black lady who they know is the spiritualist.
I'm surprised the black people didn't put a hex on all of them. You know what I'm saying? I don't
Exactly.
know.
Because this now is going into a very interesting situation. The long and short, what I'm getting at is all of these accounts of haunted houses and shit like that. It's mostly white people that tend to have these haunting, as far as terrifying supernatural ghost type experiences. And my
Hmm.
thought, when you said what you said, brought that shit immediate to my mind. All of the different
Hmm.
foul shit they done did to the ancestors over the decades, the centuries.
Hmm.
It's the
Hmm.
ancestors, as one of the traits
Hmm.
say, them niggas is giving them spiritual reparations.
Those
Like
spirits
nigga,
ain't red. Those spirits are not at rest.
exactly, we on your ass, ho. Any devil that
There's
ever
this
come up
book.
in this bitch, we gonna make you jump out the window to your death, ho.
Mm.
Like dead ass.
Yeah, could you imagine? I know. I found this book. I can't really find it. I need to look for it again. But it was talking about the angry gods of Africa, and it talked about like the ancestors being mad, being angry about everything that's happened, and that like those countries were going to have to eventually atone for what they did. You know, so the gods could be at rest.
Ain't fully
And
atoned
I
for
and I
shit.
haven't. And huh?
No, I said these devils ain't atoned for nothing yet, goddamn it.
Mhm. Yeah.
But I do think
Well, this
eventually
guy.
it's coming for sure.
Well, Trump just said there was on something about New York. I forgot what it was on, what newspaper, but this guy David Icke said he was reading that one of the Trump generals are telling the soldiers to prepare for Jesus' coming in the Armageddon, and this thing with Iran is bringing it all in.
So here's a
I was
that's
like,
so
wow.
it's funny. One, I'm surprised you up on David Icke. I've been up on him for a long time since like
Yeah, my
'97,
love told me
'98.
about him. I just started looking at him. Yeah,
Yeah, he was like a
so he's
famous
interesting.
news sports. He was actually like a sports ESPN type of dude who just got
Uh-huh.
out of he had some spiritual awakening, way back in
Hmm.
the day. That's like
Hmm.
damn, I don't even I can't even name no sports announcer dude in this era. But dude was announcing sports games on for the BBC or whatever, had a spiritual awakening and then just up and left that whole life behind and been,
Hmm.
just on this spiritual journey. And in the beginning, everybody tried to humiliate him. Oh, he's crazy, he's this, he's that. And now that everybody in society has started to catch up with him, now they like, damn, maybe dude was like, in his profit type bag, because a lot of stuff that's been transpiring, he said a lot of this shit was going to come to pass from like
Hmm.
1990 something, 1995,
Hmm.
1998 type shit. But oh yeah. So that piece that you said about the Christ, Return of Christ. So there's a
Hmm.
book, there's a couple of books, but one of them I believe was the New World Order, and I also believe that it was mentioned in the book written by this guy William Cooper,
Hmm.
Behold the Pale Horse, pardon me, where they mention a government project called Project Bluebeam, which, as
Hmm.
far as the 80s, they had sufficient enough hologram technology at that time, from what the guy author of the book was saying, that they planned at a key point to use this technology where they could project into a sky a image of Buddha, Allah, Christ, to fool the masses of any targeted country into thinking that the end of times was here and that their prophet has returned, and all that was part of psychological warfare. You know what I'm saying? That's
Wow.
how evil these devils are. But they were proposing such stuff, yeah, as early as the late '80s and shit, and had technology set up in place for it. And I don't know if you
Hmm.
remember in the early 2000s, or no, it was the probably the early 2010s, where on the news and social media they were showing like weird vortexes in the middle of the sky at night type shit.
Hmm.
Like, some of that could have also been part of that. But yeah, it's definitely some stuff.
That's interesting.
And then I'm sure you heard of HARP, which is a facility that the government has allegedly up in Alaska, which
Hmm.
it stands for high altitude something something resonance something something, where they can manipulate people's thoughts by playing with the frequencies, because in our brain,
Hmm.
maybe your pineal gland, if I'm correct, like there's some component in our brain that has a certain frequency, and that same component is in cell phones and has the
Hmm.
same fucking frequency, which allows the call to go from one phone to the next phone. But that component
Hmm.
exists naturally within our brain. And
Hmm.
they were talking about in this book from the 90s that at some point, as technology advances, they'll be able to send a message directly into somebody's brain as if sending a phone call. So
Interesting.
so when you hear these people who randomly shot up the mall or the post office or ran up on a school or whatever ones that don't kill themselves that somehow survive, and talk about, I don't know what happened. I
Hmm.
didn't, I don't know what I was doing.
Hmm.
They could have literally been
Hmm.
controlled. You know what I'm saying?
Wow. Hmm. And but when you think about it, you see Elon Musk is doing this thing about with the neuro
Neuralink.
links. Yeah, and so that's part of that mind control, because people, it's already happening for people with disabilities where they may not can speak, but I think this neuro link thing speaks for them
Yeah.
through
So yeah, because
analyzing the brain waves.
well, that, and I seen like some video where like one person that was, I think paraplegic, they must have had been like an early adopter of it, and they were able to use their laptop just by thinking.
Hmm.
And it was typing for
Hmm.
them. It was moving the mouse
Yes.
for them. They were able to play
Uh-huh.
video games. You know what I mean? The
Yeah. Yeah.
PlayStation. They could,
But this,
mhm.
but I think it was out a long time ago. Let me tell you, when my son was younger, somebody gave him this thing for his birthday. And I think he could put it on his head and it would do stuff. I don't remember what it all it would do because I never really paid it that much of attention. And I used to give stuff away because it was just too much stuff. So I would give his stuff away to people. I gave it away to somebody. And I have no idea who I gave it to. He was so mad at me that I gave it away. But maybe it was good that I gave it away. Don't tell him
I,
what it would have done to his brain.
I wonder if
I
it
mean,
was.
I don't know where it went.
I wonder if it was one of them early virtual reality headsets that it
Oh,
slides over
I
their eyes, like some goggles, some snow goggles, but it allows them
no,
to.
he had that too. He
Okay.
had one of those. But
Mm.
this was something you put on, I think he would put on his head. I can't remember. But I'm glad he didn't have it because I don't know what that would have done to his developing brain cells, now that I think about it.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I'll have to ask him if he remember what it was and what it did because he was upset at me for giving his toy away.
Yeah. I don't remember specifically what it might have been. The only thing I could think of, yeah, besides the virtual headset,
Mhm.
mm, yeah, yeah, I can't call it.
Yeah, I'm not really sure, but yeah. So we just don't. We never know, what the unseen have for us. What we're up against with all this stuff. Because it's like mad scientists in the world, and they're using people as experiments.
Okay, so with that said,
Mhm.
what are your thoughts on so like how the scientists they trying to either split atoms, they trying to low key open portals to other dimensions. What
I
repercussions do you
think
think that might have on the
when they
spiritual
oh,
or
I think when they open those portals up, they shouldn't be opened up right now. Other things are going to come in that they won't be able to control because it's going to be. I feel like when portals are like on a spiritual level, you opening up stuff that you don't even know what's coming through. Just
well,
like it's almost like people using a Ouija board
oh
to
yeah,
to call in
exactly,
spirits.
exactly.
And okay, you calling in something you don't even know who you calling in,
Exactly,
you know,
and then it's
and you
lying
can't
to you.
control it, and
It,
you don't know.
yeah, it's
Ooh,
lying to
I
you in the
wouldn't want to
gate.
mess with that.
Because
Mm-mm.
yeah, I've seen enough things on that too, where the sucker or the idiot. I hate to say it, but I ain't changing
Mhm.
my statement. Child, adult, teenager, whatever, that uses that Ouija board thinking they gonna talk to their uncle, they long lost mother. Nigga, that's a
Mhm.
demon you on the line with, nigga.
Yep. You don't know what it is. I've never done. I know about them, but I've never done that. I wouldn't even think about doing that. Absolutely, not. I'm too scary. First of all, I
Oh
wouldn't
yeah,
even
me
think
too.
about that.
I even told my son. I say, look, I know you fuck with some of them white people. If they ever break out of goddamn Ouija board, you better get the hell out of there.
I know, because I'm telling you, those things might travel, with
No,
him.
no,
You
like
know.
so if you like so a lot of these different instances that I've heard, from the different people accounts, there was one
Mhm.
account that 26 people, it was like some big sleepover. 26 girls, teenage girls were hospitalized during one of these Ouija board sessions.
Mm-mm.
And then I don't know if you remember, like we all heard about it, but we didn't hear the full detail. In the
Mhm.
2010s, there was a black woman. It might have even been the late half of the 2010s, from 2015 to 2020, where this black lady in her 20s, along with all of her friends in that same age range, they had a sleepover, but yet only the black lady ended up dead.
Mm.
Y'all, do you remember that?
I
Mm-mm.
do. I heard about it.
Yeah. I want to say the further backstory on that scenario was that they did some shit with a Ouija board
Mm.
and shit went left, and that's how that black lady died, doing whatever
Really?
shit they were doing with that Ouija board.
See, you just can't be messing with stuff like that, especially if you don't know what you're doing. None of when it comes to the spiritual world, I just don't think you should mess with it if you don't know what you're doing
And
at
I think
all.
it's chaos by design because
Hmm.
or maybe you don't know, you could buy the Ouija board at your local fucking Walmart.
You can?
Yeah,
Wow,
yeah, they sold it as a
that's
toy.
crazy. As a toy?
Yeah, you like so Toys R Us back in the day,
Mm.
KB toy stores
What?
now
I don't remember
Walmart.
it as a toy, Dre.
Man,
What year is that?
let me pull this shit up for y'all.
What
Toy.
year is? I grew up. Toys R Us is like a '90s baby's paradise. I don't ever remember a Ouija board being
Boy,
like a real deal.
watch. So
Yeah,
I'm
aren't
they
they
like to
like
advertise as
aren't they
something
like
for
brown?
minors
Or,
and
Maybe
young
like some
teens type.
fake, like maybe fake, like I don't know, but I don't think. Well, maybe my mom was just not taking me in that aisle or something, because my mom was big on that. Like, yeah, I was watching the scary movies with my aunts, but like my mom did not play about the exorcism movies. Even as I got older, she was like,
oh
"Don't watch
no,
them." She's
I
like,
couldn't be
"Don't,
watching nothing like that. Mm-mm.
yeah." She's
I
like,
just put
"I
a link in
definitely wouldn't watch them at the house."
I put a link in the chat from
Let me see.
Walmart.
You said Toys R Us.
Yeah, but that's from my era growing up. Toys R Us is out of business, I think.
No,
Mm.
it is no. I know Toys R Us is my. I know, but you no, no, no. I'm just laughing because you were like it was in Toys R Us, and I'm like,
Yeah,
me and your
That's
brother.
But
wild.
they're bankrupt.
No, they are bankrupt, exactly. But that's not why. It's because kids stopped playing with toys for real.
but there's
We
always
hit the
new kids
internet
being
era.
born. Just because you
Nigga,
stop
these
being a
kids
kid,
don't
kids
want
ain't
toys.
stop
They
being
want
made, nigga. You just made
Nick.
one.
Nick, no, I know, but nigga, I grew up in a big ass family. Them kids didn't want no fucking toys. They wanted iPads and fucking laptops and all that type of shit.
If you go on
Once that
TikTok and see how many adults and teenagers that have told accounts of playing with them Ouija boards on some
no,
casual
you're
shit.
right.
Like even these
You're
niggas
right.
up in New
No,
York, like these Puerto Ricans in the Bronx was like, yo,
Dre,
son,
I've been
the
around
nigga in
white
my
people. Of
apartment next
course I
door
know
had the
that.
board and we went over there.
She said white people.
Like on some just random shit. Niggas was like, we gonna see what this shit is about. And some New York niggas was
Hmm.
fucking with the Ouija board
No, no, no.
encountering
You're right,
demons.
100%.
And
I'm
what
just
happened?
cracking
Did
up at
they
you saying they were at Toys
at the
R Us.
what?
They had to stop fucking with the neighbors because they said that some shit
Hmm.
started to pop up at
Really?
the neighbor house, and then a couple of them
Mm.
felt like the shit followed them back to their crib. And
Yeah, I
See what I'm
never.
talking about?
there's
Nah, I never
numerous
did that.
accounts of that where, as much as I've kind of peeped, they say that if you fuck with it, you better close out that session. You're supposed to make sure that you send that
That's
planchette to goodbye, nigga. Goodbye.
and see what I mean.
No,
That's what
isn't
I'm
that
saying.
crazy shit that they
They
used to
talking
do?
about
Think. Go ahead. Sorry. Go ahead.
no, like what I'm sorry, what he said about opening up portals. I mean, that's the same stuff.
Oh
If
yeah,
these
hell
people
yeah.
are out there trying to open up portals, for what reason are you trying to open up a portal
I
if you don't
know.
think
I
that there's
know.
something
That's
on the
some
other?
white people shit. My
But that's
mom's
It
but
right
yeah.
there
is. They've
saying.
been watching.
So
They're
there's
like,
that
let's go to a
demonic
meet.
angle
They're like,
too.
let's go to a medium. I'm like, why do we need to go to a medium to have someone tell us some shit? Like, what is a medium?
Mm.
What are we gonna like? No, they wanted to go to the Long Island medium when my pop died.
Yeah, but
Well, the medium
that's
is
how a lot
on
of niggas
top.
get sucked in. That's the gateway. So
Dre, you probably know. You probably lived, probably saw her growing up because you know what I mean. What's her name? Teresa Capazan, whatever her name is, the Long Island medium. She's been doing it for like like over 20 years.
I
so
think I might be one naturally. To be honest, y'all, I ain't gonna lie.
yeah, and there's
No,
nothing
no,
wrong
I
with
believe in
a
the
medium
mediums for
per
sure. I'm
se,
just like,
but the history and the origin of the Ouija board really kicked off after the Civil War. So many people had lost so many loved ones on both sides
Mm.
of the war that whoever came out with this shit, I think it started
Mm.
from something even more older and ancient called the Divic board.
The Divic.
Yeah, somebody made a variation of that, which we now identify as a Ouija board. And
Mm.
it was promoted as a way, because spiritualism, quote unquote, white spiritualism is totally different from black spiritualism. We got to just put that out there, because how white spiritualism was promoted was using the fucking Ouija board in the 1800s and holding
Well,
seances.
I thought the Salem those witches and stuff. Um, I thought they started. I thought a lot of that stuff also started around that time too.
Nah, not like.
But weren't the Salem witches really producing like good magic? They weren't like really black magic.
So
There's white magic and black magic, and
So if you like, even
and
if you look at the how it's presented, right? They still
um,
they still trying to start you from like the 1600s, maybe
um,
1500s with a white person.
um,
Mm-hmm.
The indigenous peoples
yeah,
globally are the
yeah,
ones who learned these practices first, or were
yes,
taught these practices, or given the knowledge from either angels or
mhm,
aliens or demons, whatever you want to
mhm,
call it,
mhm,
entities from another dimension that they tapped into. And those indigenous peoples worldwide at some point taught these Caucasians, because once again, these Caucasians only been around for roughly 6,000 years, roughly.
mhm,
If you want to be nice, maybe 10,000 years. All of us,
mhm.
we've been here like
I'm about
hundreds
to
of
put
thousands
that
of
on
years.
threads.
But even
Let's see.
like,
Let's ruffle some feathers.
did you ever watch what's that shit? What's that shit we was talking about, Bree? That we was hype on a couple years back. Fucking that series with Kardashian was in one of the latest
Oh yeah,
seasons,
American Horror Story.
American Horror Story, where
Mhm.
season three, I think season three, or was it season four? Cassandra, you would probably definitely dig season four. Season four
I don't know.
deals
Is it scary? Because when you say
well,
horror,
well,
that just
well.
that knocked me out.
It deals with horror, but it also
Look at
deals
those
with
scary movies.
spiritualism. It deals with the supernatural.
Nah, you
So
would like it.
season
You would like
four,
some of the seasons. I didn't
yeah,
like all of them
Okay.
either,
yeah.
but you would like some of them.
So season four
Mhm.
deals
I
with
stopped
new.
watching stuff like that.
Yeah, season four deals with the witches specifically. So you had the
Mhm.
white witches, and then shit gets real to where they need the help of the black witches, which are the more ancient
Mhm.
witches. So you ever heard of Madame Laveau?
Let's say I have.
Madame Laveau is one of the most powerful witches according to the
Which
Saint,
in Louisiana?
exactly, St. Louis
Yeah, yeah,
history.
yeah.
Her grave is like a major tourist attraction to this day.
Oh wow, I never heard of her, but I
No,
would.
Angela
But
Bassett plays her in American Horror Story.
oh, okay, that's
Mm.
Nigga,
Angela
that's
Bassett
yeah,
supposed to be
exactly.
okay.
Yes,
Okay. No,
yes.
I know who exactly. I know
And
who
then
she's talking
and
about
then
now.
and
I
then
didn't
and
know
then
Tell
that.
me her name again. Her name again.
Madame Laveau.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, that is who she plays.
Mhm.
Damn,
Man,
you gotta
Okay.
know. It's crazy how they just be
they give you the
taking
knowledge and the
history and
information
making
right in
stuff.
your face, but
Right.
you think it's entertainment and you're not picking the history
Exactly.
out of it. I pick the
Yeah.
history out of everything that I watch. That's
No,
why I
that's
got. That's
good.
look that for
Shit.
y'all watching the video. That's why I got World History is Our History shirt. You can get it for 19.99
Right, for real.
along with the
I need one.
matching mug. But anyway, um, Madame Laveau is portrayed by, of course,
So,
Angela
what did
Bassett.
Madame Laveau do?
She just was like one of the most powerful voodoo priests in Louisiana at that time, where even
Oh yeah,
the
yeah.
rich white, you know, aristocracy would come to her for blessings
They said Creole
and
people
shit
did
like
lots of
that.
voodoo.
Um,
Mm.
and then another figure, if you remember the black guy who took her baby, that's how she got her powers. She made a deal with
Hell no,
Papa
I forgot that part.
They did
Legba.
what?
So, Cassandra, you heard of Papa Legba?
Mm-mm.
Papa Legba
Yep.
is a deity within the voodoo. What's the word I'm trying to look for? Give me one of y'all. Give me the word for the thing of gods. The word that kind of encompasses that. The whatever the hell that
What?
shit is. But basically, Papa Legba
Okay,
is one of the major
I've heard that.
Voodoo?
ones. He's one of them ones. So in American Horror Story, Madame Laveau got her powers or her enhanced witchcraft powers, she had to give up her child or whatever. And not only did she give her child to Papa Legba, who then granted her immortality. So in the show, she was alive from slavery era times, and in the modern time of the show, she was running a hair shop in the hood, but still practicing her witchcraft. You know what I'm saying? Which is why the head supreme white witch came to her for help, and also was trying to get her youth back, if you remember. But Papa Legba, the curse that he bestowed on Madame Laveau was that not only she had to give up her first natural born baby, but every X amount of years to maintain her youthfulness, she had to literally steal or kidnap somebody's baby and bring that baby to Papa Legba to stay youthful and
Oh yes, Papa Legba. Yeah, it's the youthful.
yeah,
Yes, I remember
the
that.
black dude, you know what I mean? Nigga that was in the
Yes.
corner.
Yeah, Dre, that was so damn long ago. God damn.
Nigga, you supposed to know.
You just got a good ass memory with history. Yo ass. I was watching it for entertainment, but now, yeah, I'm gonna watch it in a whole.
Cartoon down there look like it's on top of the ground. I guess in New Orleans.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
she
yeah.
was that
Yeah.
powerful, you know what I mean?
I remember they were talking about it when I went out there. That's why.
And then the
But
crazy
I
shit.
thought, you know what they say, Dre? Some of them people were saying that something about the Dominicans too with him. That
Well,
it was
yeah, yeah,
that
like,
it was.
yeah, because like I told you, at the end of the day, the further back you go, like all of the island peoples were under one united empire, the Arawak slash Carib Empire. That's where the term Caribbean really comes from. It was a whole fucking empire. So the Taino that everybody associates just with Puerto Rico, they were on many islands. Pardon me. But the long and short, those practices, they definitely have a long history, and Papa Legba is definitely one of them ones that. Oh, there was a white woman. I want to say back in 2020, between 2020 and 2023, that was dating a black woman. Obviously a lesbian couple. The white woman wanted to put a hex on her black ex. You know what I'm saying? So this white woman started learning and practicing voodoo, and like allegedly asked Papa Legba to put a hex on this black woman, who Papa Legba wasn't going for that, and somehow the white woman died while trying to perform this ritual on her black lover. If that's some instant karma shit, I don't know what is. Papa Legba said, no, no, no.
He said, no, no, no.
You know what I mean?
Funny. He said, no,
Like
no,
that.
no.
That's just crazy on the basic
It's
level.
amazing.
You a white person trying to use a black deity to harm another black person. That wasn't gonna go well from the gate. Like, bitch, you supposed to had summoned up goddamn, Mary Poppins or some white bitch. She might have helped you. But so the other shit that all of this talk brings to mind is the Germans, World War II. We're gonna see if Rich know a little bit about where I might be going. So in Germany, World War II, yes. So like there was the main German army, right? Then he had the SS, which was kind of like his equivalent of, I guess, like a secret service, CIA type situation. He had a spiritual division known as the Thule Society. A lot of people may not be up on that, but if you go to the History Channel, they talk about it, or the website, you'll find it right there. The research, everything is documented. And some of this shit even ties into some of the Indiana Jones movies that we grew up watching over past years. He literally had occult researchers traveling across the globe to gather key ancient artifacts because he knew that there was spiritual energy and power attached to these artifacts, which they were trying to use to, fulfill some greater part of his plan. But the long and short, when asked about how did the Germans were in World War One. Germany fought in World War One and got smacked. They got their ass whooped to where that country was damn near bankrupt, impoverished. You know what I'm saying? A loaf of bread might have been like $50,000 type shit. That's how fucked up they were. To fast forward to becoming, at the time of World War II, they had cutting edge technology from automobiles, architecture, rocket design, weapons, fucking submarines. They were ahead of the curve out of nowhere on all these aspects of technology. And according to at least the History Channel shit that they was breaking down, my man literally had a team of occultists performing rituals, seances. They were doing some shit called automatic writing, where they would just open themselves up to these entities, demons, spirits, whatever the hell you want to call it, and they just began writing out plans to rockets and this and that. That's how they got all of that information, that's out of their mouth. You know what I mean? They didn't come up with that. They literally reached out to another dimension or entity to get that information that gave them a technological / military advantage at that time.
Circuit design is in some cases demonic. So our phones have crystals in them that communicate with each other.
Yes.
But chip design and circuitry and all that, it
Mm-hmm.
all has icons and stuff like that based on
Mm-hmm.
history. And some of
Mm-hmm.
it demonic.
Sure, there's another documented situation on the American side. You familiar with Jack Parsons, Rich? Jack Parsons, they said, was the father of modern rocket science. He was a disciple of Aleister Crowley. You heard of him, right?
Yeah, I'm vaguely trying to remember.
Aleister Crowley is not only a high-ranking Mason, 33rd degree Mason at the time of the late 1800s, coming into the early 1900s, but he was part of, I guess what you would also identify as the Illuminati of that time period. They performed a lot of different rituals, and one of his students, Jack Parsons, would acknowledge that performing different satanic type rituals is how he had ended up coming up with rocket fuel, literally, and jet propulsion, further advances in technology as a result of some of these rituals and shit, which is crazy. But, that's out of their mouth and not mine.
I think trading is spiritual too.
Well, break it down. Which
Yeah,
I don't think you're wrong. I don't think you're wrong.
Yeah, Aries thinks that too. Not that it's wrong.
Yeah, I don't think you're wrong at all. Even one of my mentors said finance is spiritual. Like when they say be fruitful and multiply, that don't just apply to you trying to have 1,000 kids. It applies to turning 1 into 2, and 2 into 4, and 4 into 8.
Well, I mean, like historically, we've with people using the markets and stuff. They were talking about the moons, sometimes even use astrology to help them.
So the AI even is saying trading is considered a spiritual practice because it acts as a mirror to the inner consciousness, forcing traders to master fear, greed, and ego to achieve emotional detachment. It requires extreme presence, patience, self-awareness, where profit becomes the byproduct of internal balance. And then the key aspects of the spiritual part of it, mastering the self. It reveals one's deepest psychological flaws, requiring the development of discipline, presence, present moment awareness. It requires
It
letting
sure does require that.
it requires letting go of
And
fear
Mhm.
and
Mhm.
there's
FOMO,
a lot of detachment too.
and it forces you to fully exist in the present. Often all described as a form of meditation. Yeah, it demands maintaining inner peace during intense volatility rather than reacting with panic or euphoria. That's for damn sure.
Yeah, and the whole thing with being detached. You ever notice the traders who so fixated on the outcome? They're usually the ones that don't last.
No, that's fair.
And then detachment itself is critical when it comes to manifestation and all.
Mhm. Interesting. Y'all, I guess I'm going to get off this call.
All right. Well, like I said, I appreciate
Yeah,
you, chiming in.
right. It should be
This
cool.
was some good vibes,
Well, it was very interesting conversations.
and this is like, consider this a sneak peek to what your channel can be like.
Yeah,
Yes.
this dream meditation is going to be one on my channel. I'm going
Yeah,
to
yeah.
perfect it before we work on it, before we do it.
And I'll be, like I said, I volunteer to be the guinea pig on it.
Mhm. Yeah.
So, no, she already done hypnotized me like what, two, three times already.
Hmm. Yeah, but this won't be like a deep. It won't be like that. It was just going to be more relaxation. You know, no techniques or anything.
All right, well, shoot, we appreciate you coming through. And
Yeah. Well, thanks for the conversations.
once I got everything edited up, I'll shoot you the link.